one, the grand final is about to begin. And we go. Alright, we're ready to see the beginning of play. Here we go. The grand final of the 2017-18 season in the F2 division. Diamond Creek 1 versus North Eltham Wanderers. Ball 1. Here we go. Comes into bowl. And it's a no ball to start. It's an inside edge and it's fielded by square leg. So, here we go, ball 2. And that looks like it hit the pad. So it went through the gate between bat and pad. It hit the pad and was caught by the keeper. And the umpire. It definitely had a very low and long sound, which is the typical sound that you get off the pad. Nothing that's short and sharp like the bat. Comes into bowl and down the leg side. So let's have a look at the field now. 2 slips, gully, point, cover, mid off, mid on, mid wicket, and then a short fine leg slash very backwards square leg. Comes into bowl, and it's an outside edge, and it's going down to the third man region. There's no third man, so second slip has to chase it down. They've gotten 2. Are they going to go for a third? And they call through the third. Very good running there by the red-capped batsman. So, Diamond Creek are off the mark with some runs, a outside edge going down to third man. So, not the most confident start, but it's a start. And defends it. And they've moved mid-on squarer, so there's a big gap as a straight hit. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. So here is the gap, so mid-on is now wider and almost moving into a cow's corner position. So if he wants to play a straight drive to a on drive, he could certainly pick up some runs. Comes into bowl and defends it. It's a good ball. End of the over. So here we go, the second over of the match. This isn't the first one from the Elizabeth Street end. And defends it, and it goes to mid-on. So for this bowler, we have 2 slips, gully, point, cover, and then a very straight mid-off. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. So we've got a very straight mid-off, which means a extra cover sort of drive will get you runs through the gap. And then on the leg side we've got mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket and backward square leg. Comes into bowl And it's an outside edge and it gets fielded by the gully. So the blue helmet batsman has not had the most confident start. A few edges, one appeal against him, and his runs have gone through an edge. So he just needs to get himself into this game, not allow the nervousness of the situation get the better of him. Comes into bowl and tries to work onto the leg side, but it gets picked up by the bowler. Comes into bowl. Oh, a leading edge. He tried to play the leg glance and he curved his bat too quickly, and so it ended up going to the gully region. So another edge to this blue helmet batsman. He's definitely having the toughest of it. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. It's a maiden. It's still none for 4. So, third over from the Diamond Creek trail end. And defends it. So, it's a very unusual day, the fact that there's a very light cloud coverage, so the sky looks very white, and yet it's very sunny out. I mean, we're seeing long, thick shadows, real bright. Comes into bowl and defends us. So most of the sky is white, but it's a very thin coverage, and it's not very thick, which is why you can see the blue poking out here and there all over the place, and that's why the sun is still the predominant force in the sky. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. So the red-capped batsman has definitely come much more prepared, I think, mentally. He's being much more watchful. He hasn't really tried to do anything other than block the balls on the stump and leave the ones off the stump. Comes into bowl and defends it. So far I haven't seen any swing, which is unusual. These two bowlers are bowling very fast, you know, right arm, medium fast. They're definitely getting the ball up there, they're pitching it up, but I have not seen any movement off through the air. Ooh, and hits the pad, and they can't run anything because the short fine leg is there to snatch it up. So, we've just seen the one scoring shot, and there's been 17 legal deliveries, and that one scoring shot was through an edge, so you'd have to say that North Eltham Wanderers fielding and bowling has definitely gotten themselves off to a good start. Comes into bowl and defends it back to the bowler. Another maiden. It's still none for 4. Alright, this is the 4th over of the match. Elk goes for the backward drive, and they get a run. Very sneaky stuff. I'm not sure who called that, but whoever did deserves a compliment for that. That was very aggressive running, and it was a back foot drive shot. It was close to the body, couldn't cut it, but he was able to just extend his arms out as a drive, a pushy drive sort of thing. Comes into bowl and cuts it, and this time it goes straight to point, which means there's no chance of a repeat what we saw last time. The ball is definitely sitting up when it gets a bit short. Comes into bowl. And, oh, bit of a slower Yorker there. So with Diamond Creek batting first, it means that they're the ones that now have to set a total rather than what they got to do last time, which was just chase down what they bowled their opponents out for. Comes into bowl and plays another back foot drive, and this time it goes to the cover fielder. Exactly how Diamond Creek will respond to this challenge of needing to set a total this time, we'll just have to watch over the course of the next couple of hours to see what their attitude and mindset will be. Comes into bowl and tries to leg glance it, and it goes to the mid-wicket region for another dot ball. But exactly how they contemplate this situation, how they manage it, what they sort of think a competitive total will be off 68 overs, these are all things that will have to be thought through over time. Comes into bowl and tries to sweep it but misses, and it's the end of the over. It's none for 5. So this is the 5th over of the innings. Continuing to bowl from the Diamond Creek trail end, and leg glances it, and it goes through the gap in the mid-wicket region, and the mid-wicket field has to chase it down. They got one, they're going to go for 2 on the arm. They throw it in, and they get 2. Very good shot, very good running. That's very nice. I mean, the gap in the mid-wicket region between mid-wicket and the squarish mid-off is only about 15 metres, and it's about 30 metres away from the bat, so you had to be exact in your timing to pierce that gap, and defends it into the covers, and the fielder at cover takes it. So far the crowd has not been as big as I was hoping. I would have expected everyone from the Diamond Creek 1s and 2s and 4s to be here, and then friends and family, so I would expect at least 100 people to be here to watch this grand final, but so far I'm only seeing about 10. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. Maybe there are some more people inside the pavilion which cannot be seen, but in terms of people who are outside, there's just a couple of people sitting around here and there, and then there's obviously the people who are part of the Diamond Creek team who are sitting underneath the marquees. Comes into bowl and drives, and it goes through the gap again. We've got more runs here. They've gotten 1, they're going to go for 2. Are they going to go for a 3rd on the arm? He just picks it up now. And they decide not to go for the 3rd. So 2 more runs there. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the blue helmet opening batsman has gone from struggling to figure out what he was doing out there, being very unsure, and suddenly he's actually being on the attack. Very nice shots there. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. I think we saw a little bit of movement that ball. I mean, it's not much. It's just a couple of centimetres, but the ball is moving a little bit. It's enough to obviously to miss the meat of the bat and get the edge, which obviously is the whole point of swing. The whole point of swing is not to get play and misses through gigantic arcs, just enough movement to get the edge. Comes into bowl and drives it, and it gets fielded in the covers, and that's the end of the over. It's none for 9. So this is the 6th over. Comes into bowl. Oh, tries to play the cut shot, but no bounce. So strange ball there. It was you know, a half short of a length, but I guess he just didn't put any pace on it, so there was nothing to bounce off the pitch, and it just sort of ploddled. Now near the ankles, comes into bowl and defends it. Now interesting, this bowler, quite tall, but the last two balls have been quite slow, and certainly not as fast considering his height. So, okay, so those three balls have all, like, he bowls very, you know, he's tall, he looks quite strong, and he comes in very fast with his run-up, but then as he releases the ball, his arm slows down, his fingers and his wrist slows down, and he ends up bowling quite slow. So, he looks very fast when you see him run up, and when you see him deliver the ball, it's quite slow, but it's not a slow ball to be deceptive. And it's cut, and it goes through the backward point region, and they've gotten one, they're going to go for two, and they're happy with two, so he's off the mark now. Very nice shot there. Well played pull shot, got his feet in the right position, comes into bowl. And another cut shot, but this time it's fielded in the covers. So, he's definitely getting his feet in the right position. He's watching the ball very carefully, especially worrying about its length. Moving his feet in position to play either full or back, front or back. Comes into bowl and defends it. End of the over. It's none for 11. So, the 7th over now, and the 4th one from the Diamond Creek trail end. Oh, hits on the pad, it looks a bit high, and he's been given out. Well, that looked a bit high. It was, he bowled it short of a length, and it definitely hit the middle, you know, around the sort of length where you would play the short ball. So there's no sense that the ball was pitched full, but it did bounce a bit less than what you would have expected. So it definitely did duck in at the batsman, and the batsman was not prepared to play the ball like that, and so he got hit on the pad, but it was very high on the pad, you know, near the knee roll. And so, considering how tall the bowler was, can you be certain that that definitely would have hit the stumps? I'm not so sure. Well, the first wicket for Diamond Creek has fallen. So here we go, new batsman. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. Well, Diamond Creek have lost their first wicket. The blue helmet opener, he seemed to be playing, you know, nice shots, especially when the ball was away from his body and he could swing the bat at it through nice looking drives. Now we've got number 3 batsman, and defends it. Comes into bowl. And down the leg side. And the umpire is happy with it. It's hard to know who around this ground is actually watching the game or just trying to walk their dog or go for a jog. Comes into bowl and defends it. And thought about trying to go for a run, but nothing was there. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. End of the over. It's 1 for 11. So this is the 8th over. Scores 1 for 11 now. Comes into bowl and defends it. So how will this wicket affect the batting attitude and mindset of Diamond Creek? They've lost one of their openers, but they didn't seem too fussed when they lost 3 wickets when they chased down that score of 50 last week. And drives it. And it's a misfield. The fielder at cover could not secure it, but they can't go for a run. For whatever reason. I'm not 100% sure why they didn't go for a run there. There you go. Comes into bowl and drives. Very windy out there, and plays a back foot drive for dot ball. Comes into bowl and drives it back to the bowler. Comes into bowl and drives it. Another back foot drive shot. And it's a maiden. It's still 1 for 11. Well, this is the 9th over. And it will be the 5th one from the Diamond Creek trail end. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. Not the most confident leave. He sort of stepped into it as though to play a cover drive and then pulled out at the last moment and had to swivel his bat around to make sure that he didn't get the bat or the glove. And so there was a bit of oohs and ahs from the North Eltham fielders. Comes into bowl and drives it. That's not a very nice shot. That is an ugly golf sort of swing, where you sort of like, you don't in ordinary cock your wrists in the same way that you play cricket, but you sort of hold them into position and try and swing through the line of it like you would as a golf swing, which is not a very safe way to play cricket. Comes into bowl and defends it. He's definitely trying to, when he plays a defensive shot on the front foot, he tries to smother the ball by stretching forward as much as possible. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. Comes into bowl and leaves it alone. So another tied over. It's been 5 plus 6 plus 5, so 16 balls since that last wicket. And it's just been dot balls since. So this partnership has not gotten off the mark yet. Comes out of the ball, and the leg glances into the gap in the square leg region, and so he's off the mark, and that ends the over. So it's 1 for 12.